top 10 this, top 10 that. YouTube's so boring these days, it does my head in. If it annoys me this much, maybe I just shouldn't watch those videos and accept that thousands of other people enjoy watching them. Food for thought. Anyway, speaking of lists, here's my top 10 list for winter. Stay tuned. Yeah, it's a funny thing, isn't it? In FRAG-Com at the moment, so many people are saying how YouTube is just overrun with all sorts of different top 10 lists, and FRAG-Com's changed and it's not the same as it was. Yet these top 10 videos always get the most views. Thousands of people tune in to watch them, so there's obviously an audience out there, and why else would we do YouTube unless we want to make videos for our audience? That is why you are seeing another top 10 list on my channel. I try to do videos that aren't just top 10 lists. You know, I do top 8 and top 7 and top 5s sometimes even top 3, so it's not all just top 10s. Give me some credit. So these are the fragrances I've picked that I think, for me personally, from my collection, are the best 10 fragrances that I'm going to be wearing through this winter. Yours will be different. We all have different collections, so I'm just sharing mine. And many people will say, what about this? What about that? Know this? Know that? Well, no, because it's my list. Let's get cracking with the list. The first one I want to talk about is a designer. This list is a mixture of niche and designer, 5 of each. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. Everything about this fragrance is superb and great value. Let's start with the presentation. Look at that, it's amazing. This is a gorgeous, very unique bottle. It's got a screw twisty cap. There's no cap that comes on and off. This smells a little bit like tiramisu dessert. So bit of chocolate, bit of creaminess, bit of alcohol, really lovely coffee notes in there. So it's got some real rich, gourmand qualities. It's a sweet fragrance. If you don't like sweet fragrances, maybe it's not for you, but I do like sweet fragrances. A little bit of booziness in there as well. It doesn't come off as a generic designer fragrance. I think it's quite unique. I think it smells high quality. It's not the cheapest, I guess. If you're looking at purchasing it, you're probably going to pick up a 50ml bottle for around £50 and then a 100ml bottle for around about £70, £80. But I think it does crop up in sales quite often. So if you look around, I'm sure you can get it cheaper than that. Highly recommended. I think it works superbly well in the winter time. It's a crowd pleaser. Everyone around you is going to love this. I think it's ideal for a casual daytime winter scent or date nights. On me, the projection isn't massive, it's not a room filler, but someone comes a little closer in, a little more intimate, and they're definitely gonna really enjoy this one. Uomo Signature from Salvatore Ferragamo, love it. The next one is a Kilian fragrance, or by Kilian. It's by Kilian, you know what I mean. There are 2 by Kilians in this list. The first one I'm gonna mention is one I picked up off last year's wish list, and I'm so glad I did. It's Angel Share. This is a very sweet, rich, woody fragrance. There's a gorgeous oak barrel accord in this. It's boozy, it's got some cognac in there, and it's got some dried fruits, vanilla. It's rich, it's sweet, it's heavy. If you like lighter, more elegant fragrances that just fizzle off your skin, this one might be a little bit too heavy for you. But if you want heavy, statement-making fragrances with fantastic performance that fill a room, then you might really like Angel Share. I'd say this is a great formal occasion fragrance for the winter time, but I think it would also be a good party fragrance. George, the fragrance apprentice, recently came here and he borrowed this and he'd sprayed it in this room, and I could smell it in this room for the next 2 days. So it lingers, it's a beast, it hangs around. If you want a fragrance with stunning performance this winter, by Kilian's Angel Share. We stay in boozy for the next fragrance because I just think boozy notes work exceptionally well in the winter. Back to a designer. This is Emporio Armani's Stronger With You. Absolutely, this is a new 2021 release. Smoky chestnuts, vanilla, woods, smooth rum. This smells really high quality to me. I love the work that's gone into this fragrance. It makes me think of someone dressed very smartly, maybe wearing a turtleneck, really smart coat. This would also work great as a party scent because it's fun, it's lively, good performance, so it's going to get noticed. Stronger With You, absolutely. The next fragrance is rum again, and it's by Kilian again, but this is taking things to another level. If you want to just go one step further than something like Stronger With You? Absolutely. I could recommend trying Black Phantom. So this has the rum note, but with this one, it's the sort of rum that gives you that alcoholic nip. You know, you get that really nice warming sensation when you drink rum in the cold weather. Well, Black Phantom kind of reminds me of that a little bit. It's almost as if Stronger With You absolutely is the adolescent, non-alcoholic version of rum, but Black Phantom is the grown-up version of a fragrance with rum. There's also lots of sweet gourmand goodness in this. There's some chocolate, vanilla, caramel. I think there's a burnt sugar accord in this. Absolutely is going to get you noticed in a fun kind of way. Black Phantom's going to get you noticed in a someone wants to rip your clothes off kind of way. So for me, this is an intoxicating potion of confidence and sensuality, and I am thinking about wearing this one on Christmas Day. Not decided yet, but strong contender. The next one is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. What more can I say about this? I'm sure most of you out there have heard people talking about this one endlessly. I'm just going to say Tom Ford's sexiness. Again, this is sweet, it's creamy. We've got that famous kulfi note, which is an Indian dessert. Most people will like this fragrance unless you're the sort of person who doesn't like sweet, creamy, gorgeous, sexy fragrances. I don't know, maybe there's a few of you out there. For me, this is creamy sweetness with a touch of class. And it's also quite versatile. I think it's bright enough to wear during the daytime, but it's fun and it's rich enough to wear during the nighttime, date night, formal occasion, whatever. This will have you covered for everything in the winter. Gorgeous fragrance. The next one is probably the most unique tobacco fragrance I've ever smelled. You've heard me talking about this one before. This is Victorian tobacco from Galleria Parfums, which, if you didn't know, is the line that Ashton from Gentsense released. So this does have a beautiful tobacco note, but it's not an overly sweet tobacco. It's also combined with, I think it's a British gin note. So you've got the effervescence of a refreshing gin drink, but then you've got the rich, dark character of the woods and the tobacco. And these two things just create such an interesting profile to the fragrance. And as I said, it's not overly sweet. So if you're not into sweet fragrances, it's definitely not as sweet as any of the ones I've talked about on this list so far, but it does stand out. For me, this is beast mode. It'll last hours and hours on my skin. It's very potent stuff. If you're new to fragrances, or if you've historically only worn designer fragrances, then do try this one. I know it could be difficult to try because it's only available online, but if you can try it, if you can find a sample, or if you've got a friend who has it, then do smell it. But if it's up your street, and it's very much up my street, then I think there's a strong chance you will love this. If you like statement making, niche quality fragrances, and you like tobacco, you've definitely got to try Victorian tobacco. Right, I think this one has appeared on every single designer winter fragrance list I've ever put together, and everybody else as well, not just me. I'm talking about Spicebomb Extreme, but I'm not putting it in this list. It's just getting mentioned honorably to lead me on to talking about the actual fragrance that I'm including on this list. We all know this is stunning for the winter, but I just wanted to change things up a little bit because there is another Spicebomb fragrance that I think works equally as well in the winter. And I'm talking about Spicebomb Infrared. So Extreme deviates away from that original Spicebomb DNA. It does something a little bit different. It's got tobacco, it's got vanilla, it's a warm, cozy fragrance, you know, sitting by a cozy fire in a log cabin and all that imagery. That's what it conjures. Infrared is a little more fun, but it's still got the density, it's still got the darkness and the richness that Extreme brings to the party, but it aligns more closely with the DNA of the original Spicebomb. So if you want a good Spicebomb fragrance for the winter that actually smells like the original Spicebomb and a really good alternative to Extreme, I think I'd probably love these both equally. Sometimes I am just in the mood for that extra spiciness that I get from Infrared, and throw in there some red fruits and you just get this gorgeous, smooth, rounded, rich fragrance with that Spicebomb DNA. And for me, in the cold weather, this one performs superbly. If you like Naxos, I think you will really enjoy this next fragrance. I'm talking about Evasion from Lark. This is along the same lines as Naxos. It's not exactly the same because I think it's darker and richer. It doesn't have the citrus elements that make Naxos actually a very wearable sweet tobacco fragrance for most of the year for me. I think I could probably even get away with wearing Naxos in warmer weather. Maybe even wear it in the summer because it has those citruses. But this one for me is a fragrance that I would definitely reserve to wear in colder weather. And for me, I think it excels in the winter time. If you like the idea of something along the lines of Naxos that is just a little bit bolder and darker, then I would definitely recommend getting your schnoz on Evasion from Lark. I often find that my top 10 lists include more than one Tom Ford fragrance, and this list is no exception. I love the house, I love the brand, particularly for fragrances that work well in the cooler weather. I think Tom Ford has some fantastic creations, especially in the private blend. I've included fragrances in the past like Tobacco Oud, which I wore the other day and is a stunning fragrance. But this year, I wanted to give a chance to Noir de Noir because I think it is one of the most beautiful creations of the private blend. This, amongst other things, is roses and chocolate. So I always say this one makes me think of that chocolate Turkish delight. You know, in the purple shiny wrapper here in the UK, I think it's Fry's Turkish delight. The taste of that, I think, is represented in an olfactory way in Noir de Noir. It is the quintessential sensual date night fragrance. You can wear it at other times, you can wear it whenever you want, but for me it just works so well when I want something that is sensual but also very classy. A superb addition to the Tom Ford private blend, Noir de Noir. The last fragrance on this list is the fragrance that has surprised me the most, I think, out of any fragrance that I've smelt so far this year, and it just so happens to be perfect for the winter time, for the colder weather. I can't wait to give this one a load of wearings. It's from Fragrance de Bois, and it is the fragrance that they did in collaboration with producer Michael. I don't know if you've seen any videos from producer Michael. I've seen a couple. One of them, he was walking around his ginormous closet, I think it was, or basement or something, but it was just packed full of fragrances, and it was very clear that producer Michael is a massive Fragrance de Bois fan. I gotta be honest and say I knew this fragrance was coming, but I wasn't particularly excited about smelling it at all. But when I did smell it, it kind of blew me away a little bit. It's a very sweet fragrance. It's got some chocolatey nuances. There's a really nice creamy leather in there. There are some other notes. Those are the main things I get, but and by the way, look at the box, and here's producer Michael on the back, just in case you didn't know what he looked like. And on the back of the box, he's written why he loves Fragrance de Bois and wanted to work with them. So the notes in this, there's tuberose, some secret Fragrance de Bois florals, juniper berry, cardamom, mint and lemon. I can't say I really get any lemon out of this. Indonesian patchouli, which is maybe what is giving that chocolatey smell. Italian leather, cedar woods, orris root, labdanum, woody notes, benzoin and amber. So there it is. The fragrance from Fragrance de Bois and producer Michael is the one that has surprised me most. It smells great. Performance on me is beast mode. For me, it's a bit of a room filler, and I love it. I didn't expect to, but there it is. It is going #1 on my winter list. But these are all great fragrances. You will not go wrong. If you like rich, dark, sweet fragrances, you're not going to go wrong with any of these. But these are just my preference. I'm sure yours are very different. Let me know what yours are. Let me know what your top 10 fragrances are for the winter, or your top 3 if you can't be bothered writing a top 10 list. I would love to hear from you, and let me know what you think of these. Are there any that you disagree with? Are there any of these that you don't think are worthy to be in the list? Let me know. All right, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the annual outing that my winter t-shirt gets. I only get to wear it when I make my top 10 winter fragrances video. Well, I like it. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.